Have you ever witnessed a tidal wave not of water alone, but of thousands of zombies sweeping across the land? It begins with the sea, calm yet strangely alive, its dark blue surface glistening under the sun while mysterious glowing cracks open deep beneath. At first, the sight is beautiful, the kind of view that makes you forget danger exists. On the shore, a young couple stands together, enjoying the gentle breeze and rolling waves. The boy suddenly drops to one knee, pulling out a small velvet box. He's proposing. The girl's eyes well with tears, a joyful smile spreading across her face. She reaches out to embrace him, but in the very next second he's gone, pulled violently beneath the water. She barely has time to scream before her own lifeless body is seen floating on the surface. Blood spreading like ink, and a strange sea creature bursts from the depths, tearing her apart before disappearing back into the deep. Far from the beach, 3 men are out fishing on a modest boat. They drink, laugh, and toss firecrackers overboard for fun, the explosions echoing across the waves, until one firework lands on spilled alcohol and their boat erupts in flames. In desperation, they wave for help, and another boat rushes to them. This second boat is captained by a seasoned hunter, a man with a weathered face and sharp eyes, who orders his crew to bring the survivors aboard. They transfer the remaining firecrackers to the hunter's boat for safety. High above, on a distant mountainside, another man peers through binoculars at the glowing blue cracks in the ocean, studying them with a grim, knowing expression. Back on the boat, the hunter and his crew are struggling to reel in a massive weight from the ocean floor. With effort, they haul up their catch, only to find not a fish, but a man's corpse, bloated and pale, his mouth blown wide open. The crew, unsettled, decide to send down an underwater camera to investigate. What they find makes their blood run cold. Dozens of glowing, perfectly round holes scattered across the seabed, each one pulsing with blue light. Realizing the danger, the hunter immediately radios the authorities. But as they turn back, they discover the dead body they had pulled aboard is missing. Before they can search, it suddenly reappears, no longer dead but transformed into a rotting zombie, lunging and biting into Jade, one of the crew. Chaos erupts. They stab the creature repeatedly, finally throwing it overboard. With Jade's wound bleeding badly, they race to the hospital. Determined to understand the threat, the hunter returns to the sea, dropping the camera once more, and what he sees this time freezes his breath. Dozens, no hundreds, of human-like shapes drifting beneath the waves. Then, in a single horrifying moment, they begin to move, swimming toward the surface. The hunter orders a full retreat. On deck, he grabs his radio and calls his wife, Kenzie, telling her to take their daughter Sam and leave immediately. But far from fleeing, curious onlookers gather on the shore as tsunami warning sirens wail, watching in awe as the ocean's waters begin to withdraw. Children point, adults laugh nervously, and phones record every moment. Then it comes, a monstrous wave towering above the skyline, but unlike any normal tsunami, this one is filled with thrashing, clawing zombies. The wall of death crashes onto the coast, swallowing the crowd. The hunter's boat is caught in the chaos, tossed like a toy, but he and his crew manage to take shelter inside. On land, the destruction is total. Cars, buildings, and bodies churn together in a flood of screaming and snapping jaws. At the hospital, Jade is turning pale as survivors scramble to escape. The halls echo with shouts and gunfire as zombies pour in, attacking patients and staff. Jade, now fully turned, lunges at a nurse. Kenzie flees with a stranger as more survivors fall, the zombie horde swelling with every kill. The hunter fights his way ashore, slicing through attackers with knives, firing at others, and even using a boat propeller to shred those in his path. His daughter Sam calls from a nightclub where she's trapped with friends, but he's too deep in battle to answer. Realizing there's no hope of wiping out the swarm here, he flees in a car, picking up 2 men along the way. Back at the hospital, Kenzie and her group barely escape as Jade's undead form chases them. They eventually reach the police station, where the hunter also arrives, bloodied and exhausted. Tensions spike when one man in their group betrays them, killing an officer for supplies, but the hunter knocks him unconscious. Searching through police records, they uncover a dark truth. A pharmaceutical company had been dumping toxic waste into the ocean for years. Just as they prepare to leave, the station is breached, and the hunter fires a rocket into the mob, blasting a path to safety. Meanwhile, Sam and her friends fight their way out of the mall, losing several in the process. One friend reaches the home of the binocular-wielding man from the mountain, who is keeping a zombie chained in his basement for experiments. He claims he's searching for its weakness, speaking with a mix of obsession and fear. Using his radio, Sam finally contacts her father, who sets out to rescue her. Reunited, they head for the hospital to find Kenzie, using loudspeakers to call her name. This draws zombies in droves, forcing the hunter to fight again. this time with a double-bladed weapon and electrified traps. Kenzie reveals there are two kinds of zombies, the glowing blue seaborne ones and land-based ones infected later, a hint that the pharmaceutical experiments had started long before the outbreak. The group then heads to rescue Tony, who is hiding in the experimental man's basement. During the escape, Akane, one of the group, is bitten. The man kills the attacking zombie with a jolt of electricity, but warns Akane his fate is sealed. In a moment of guilt, Akane confesses he had been bribed years earlier to hide evidence of illegal human trials, experiments that had created the zombie strain in the first place. Soon after, zombies flood the cave they are hiding in. Akane sacrifices himself, pulling the pin on a grenade to kill both himself and dozens of zombies. The survivors finally make it to the shoreline, where they prepare their last, desperate plan: lure all the zombies into the water, then electrocute them. Tony, Ray, and another man take a boat to set explosive charges, while the hunter and his family blast music over loudspeakers, drawing the swarm into the surf. The alpha zombie charges from the crowd, but the hunter meets it head-on, severing its head in one strike. Sam releases a vial of engineered virus into the water before activating the electric current, sending a massive shockwave through the sea. Thousands of zombies thrash violently before going still, floating lifelessly in the wave. The boat explodes, spreading the virus further, killing Ray and the other man but ensuring the infection is purged. But the ocean's unnatural blue glow intensifies, triggering a massive secondary wave. In the chaos, the zombie from the man's basement, freed during the earlier attack, strikes, killing the hunter. Sam, Kenzie, and Tony, battered and grief-stricken, cling to the wreckage until an approaching rescue ship finally pulls them aboard. As they sail away, the coastline lies in ruins, but the zombie threat, at least for now, has been wiped from the earth. If you want to see more videos about zombies like this, comment and subscribe channel.